All right, so you ever really stopped and thought about what you truly value in life? What really gets you going? What motivates you?
It's a question we should all be asking ourselves, really.
Absolutely. And today, we're diving deep into the Worshipper's Manna book to tackle this very idea of worship and
Interesting.
its impact on, well, us.
Okay.
You see, this book has this kind of radical idea saying that what we worship ends up shaping who we are, our values, our choices, everything.
Huh. You become what you worship, is that it?
Exactly. The book even says, and this is a direct quote, you become like what you pay homage to. Isn't that wild? I never thought about it that way.
I mean, yeah, in a way. We've all got our things, right? The stuff we prioritize.
Totally. But this book, it doesn't just stop at like gods or deities, right?
Hmm.
It says anything we put on a pedestal, anything that takes over our thoughts, it could become an object of worship, even if we don't realize it.
So it's not just about kneeling in a church. It's, what, the everyday stuff we chase after?
Precisely. And that's what I find so fascinating. The book uses the example of the golden calf.
Yeah.
Right.
Classic story.
Right. But then it makes you think, what are our modern day golden calves?
Oh, that's a good one. Let me think. I feel like there's a ton. In today's world, it could be anything from like fame and fortune to even technology, you know, social media, that kind of thing.
Yes, you nailed it. It's that constant need for validation, for more, for the next big thing. And the book really digs into this whole idea of people who are so obsessed with money that they do almost anything to get it, like even compromise their own values.
Yeah, the lengths people go to.
Right. And the book uses this really intense phrase, selling your soul.
Hmm.
What do you make of that? Like, how can you actually sell your soul for wealth?
Well, I think it's more of a metaphor, right? It's about the dangers of misplaced worship. When we elevate something above all else, we risk losing ourselves.
Right.
Our integrity, our relationships, our sense of self. It's all on the line. It's like we make this deal, not necessarily with a literal devil, but with the thing we worship,
Yeah.
and it demands everything from us.
It's like we become slaves to it almost,
Exactly. We become a reflection of it.
which is kind of terrifying when you think about it.
Right. Makes you want to choose wisely what you devote yourself to.
And speaking of choosing wisely,
Mhm.
the book uses this really interesting word to describe God. It calls him jealous, which, I don't know, it always seemed a bit human to me.
It's definitely a strong word, but it makes you think, right? I don't believe it's about a God who's insecure or possessive in a human way. It's more about this idea of ultimate allegiance.
Okay.
You see, God, or whatever higher power you believe in, wants what's best for us. And when we choose to worship something else, something that might not have our best interests at heart, it's like we're turning away from that source of love and guidance.
So it's more about recognizing what truly deserves our devotion.
Exactly. It's about recognizing what truly deserves our devotion.
And, I mean, this all ties back to what we were talking about earlier. You become what you behold.
Exactly.
So if you're constantly focused on, say, material possessions or success at all costs, that's going to shape who you become.
It's inevitable.
It makes you wonder, if someone were to examine our lives, what would they say we truly worship?
That's a question we all need to ask ourselves. What are we giving our time, our energy, our very selves to?
Something to think about. And on that note, we'll wrap up our deep dive. Join us next time as we continue to explore the fascinating world of the Worshipper's Manna book.